There are things in this world that we will never fully understand.
Did you die on one of these treadmills?
We want answers. This is our evidence.
I think we can all agree that ghost hunting shows are exaggerated. I mean, you think of shows like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, and yes, even Jake Osborne's Haunted Homecoming.
My name is Jack Osborne.
Yeah, that's a real show by Ozzy Osbourne's son. I don't know why I needed a TV show. I've always wanted to go ghost hunting, but I don't know if it would be fun because these shows aren't good representations on what ghost hunting actually looks like. It's a really strange position to be in because I know what devices ghost hunters use. I know how to use them. I know what ghosts are supposedly able to do, but I don't know if any of this is real or if it's completely made up. Don't get me wrong. I know these shows are exaggerated.
This third eye that I've developed over doing this for so long, I could see something in here.
But the way these shows work make it impossible to tell what's real and what is exaggerated. Let me show you what I mean. Ghost Adventures is probably the most popular ghost hunting show, and it's hosted by the illustrious Zach Baggins. When I tell you this show is exaggerated, I mean it. In this specific episode of Ghost Adventures, Season 17, Episode 3, Zach and the crew visit a former prison and headquarters of a cult led by a woman by the name of Linda Green. Now, they don't really elaborate how the building served as an HQ for the cult, or what the cult even did in the building, aside from their rituals. As far as the prison part goes, they mention it a couple times and then don't elaborate on it. I had a lot of questions watching this episode. Like, was the building a prison before or after the cult was there? What exactly were these rituals meant to do? And most importantly, why are Zach's glasses so big? I'm just kidding about that last part. It's so that he can see the ghosts. Throughout this episode, Zach says some of the most insane things about ghosts and the cult, like they're the most normal thing in the world.
Those dowsing ceremonies that she would do left an imprint on this building.
It could.
It's like they draw little door frames, and what comes through those doors is everything these cults or whatever they were doing, whatever dark things they were doing or trying to conjure, that is coming through the doors.
Literally everything in Ghost Adventures is designed to scare you. Sound effects,
Soy milk.
how the team talks,
There's something bad in there. There's something really bad.
even how the guests who are related to the locations speak to the crew.
I would say Linda Green and Ellen Ross.
You want us to conjure them here?
Yes.
Seriously, this is like an episode of Scooby-Doo. How does an abandoned prison even need a caretaker? She literally says she never goes in there. Are they paying her to do nothing? I think the most egregious claim in this episode is this clip right here.
Guys, it's down there. This third eye that I've developed over doing this for so long, I could see something in here. Like 3 dark figures just standing right here.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I don't even know how to respond to that. So after talking to absolutely nothing with all of their equipment off, Zach decides that they're in the wrong spot in the building, and they leave for the night and do some more research in the next day. During the research, the Ghost Adventures make a terrifying discovery.
Well, oh my gosh. Barcode. Are you kidding me? She hates barcodes.
That's right. Zach's buddy has a barcode on his arm. And Linda does not like barcodes. The team gets the bright idea to use Barcode Man in an Ouija board ritual to sort of provoke Linda Green. But to do this, they needed a little more help.
But if there's one man I know in Oklahoma that has had direct personal experience with dark and negative energy, it's Darren Evans.
Darren, can you say its name?
Zozo. We're investigating this like abandoned jail. Darren, a well-known demonologist who focuses his studies on one demon in particular named Zozo, tells us the symbols on these cards we found downstairs are demonic.
They bring in what is called a demonologist. This specific guy is haunted by the Ouija demon Zozo. It's not funny, Zach. This is a serious show. With the combined power of the demonologist and barcode man, they finally successfully contact Linda Green. She says some scary bullshit on the board. It's really the same old stuff. I mean, Ouija boards are probably the most easy ghost hunting tool to fake. They end the episode with the crown jewel of paranormal investigations: poltergeist activity. Yeah, somebody just knocked it over off screen. It's wild how much they focus on this like it's definitive proof, and the board wasn't halfway off the screen when it happened, and anybody could just been holding it up. So after watching Ghost Adventures, I wanted to learn a little bit more about the nature of ghost hunting and the evidence or lack thereof of ghosts. So I looked at a few articles, the first of which was from the University of South Carolina from a sociology professor. The article talks about how pretty much any paranormal thing can be explained by something else. It could be completely faked, like books flying around on strings, or it could be all in one's head, hearing things because they were told the place was haunted, sort of like a placebo effect of the paranormal. They say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, which actually makes a lot of sense. Ghosts are pretty extraordinary, so it should be only right that ghost hunters bring some very special evidence to the table to prove their existence. The article also mentions that unbiased skepticism requires an open mind, which is actually a pretty nice sentiment. I'm not saying that Scientologists or flat earthers' opinions should be respected. It helps to keep a good-spirited stance or argument against something. Something that the second article I read doesn't do. The next article from McGill University in the UK absolutely rips into ghost hunters, bringing up things that basically only serve as knocks on different ghost hunting TV shows. Like, you don't have to bring up the time the ghost hunters crew got arrested for trespassing and fined. It doesn't really serve any purpose in your article. The article is mostly about finding counter evidence to the evidence of ghosts. They disprove devices like the spirit box, which is sort of this type of radio that cycles through radio stations, and then what you can hear coming through the radio stations is supposedly what the ghost is saying. If they put a radio in a box that blocks radio waves, they say the radio doesn't work, so ghosts must not be real. This might be the stupidest claim I've heard from a skeptic ever. Of course the radio doesn't work if you block radio waves. That's like if you turn the radio off and said, oh, ghosts aren't real because they can't communicate when the radio's off. The only thing this proved is that skeptic evidence is just as shaky as evidence of ghosts, and just as disprovable. They act like everything in science is solidified, concrete laws, when in reality, most of science is just theories. The same theories that make up ghost hunting evidence. The line between science and pseudoscience is very blurry, and I do understand that ghost hunting exists way in the realm of pseudoscience. But if you act like you're better than ghost hunters just because you're a real scientist, it just comes off as stodgy and mean. So after Ghost Adventures and these two articles, I'm feeling kind of lost on the topic of ghost hunting. It seems like every source on the topic, skeptic and believer alike, is unreliable. The nature of this kind of evidence makes it impossible to even start to make a claim on whether ghosts are real or not. The only thing I can do now is just get a few tips on ghost hunting, and I think I found just the show. On the outside, Ghost Hunters kind of seems like a show just like Ghost Adventures. But you'll be surprised that the Ghost Hunters crew, or TAPS as they call it, I don't know what it stands for, are actually pretty skeptical. Now, they probably still exaggerate a lot of things for TV, but they actually try to disprove a lot of the paranormal experiences that they have just for the sake of, solid evidence. If Ghost Adventures is Mind Freak with Chris Angel, Ghost Hunters is like American Pickers. The TAPS crew is investigating a small town in Missouri with a long history of murders, suicides, and lynching. I feel like as long as you dig deep in a town's history, especially one in the South, you're going to find some pretty messed up stuff. But there's another thing that makes this town special. The town cemetery was actually moved to a different location, and then the graves were built on top of, and the building that resides where the old cemetery used to be is supposedly the most haunted one.
Is that a bone? Oh, it's just stone.
Another haunted building in this town, a print store, has customers claiming that they can hear large crowds outside, and then when they come out, no one's there, implying that the crowd noises came from a crowd of ghosts gathering for some sort of hanging. The print shop is where hangings used to happen in the town. And the TAPS crew actually try to disprove this by chasing a Greyhound bus to try to find a bus stop to where the crowd sounds might be coming from. There are people who get off of a bus at a specific time and then dissipate, making it seem like the noises were coming from a crowd that wasn't there. Aside from this, they also disprove a heat camera glitch that happened when it was adjusting to the new frame, and it kind of looked like a figure, but they brought it to an expert and they said it was probably just the camera adjusting. As good of a change of pace as Ghost Hunters was, it still doesn't give me enough evidence for me to start making my claim on the existence of ghosts. If I want evidence, I'm going to have to get a little drastic. I'm going to have to ghost hunt myself. Ghost hunting evidence is dependent on whether the viewer believes it or not. But since there's always an explanation, you don't know if you believe it or not. You'll never know, unless they gather their own evidence. I know that I count as someone just like Zach Baggins. No grown person who watches this video will come away fully believing in ghosts, even if I walk away fully believing in ghosts at the end of my experience. But I'm not trying to make my viewer believe. That's not the point of this video. The point of the video is, if you're unsure about something, and if your view is too muddled and every source is too biased to trust, go out and gather your own evidence. You'll never know for sure. There's no one you trust more than yourself. I have contacted the other side, so I know when ghost hunters are faking it and who's keeping it real. My name? Lance Thunderstruck. Anyone who's researched ghosts for as long as I have knows that if you want to effectively ghost hunt, you need to bring in experts, especially ones that complement your knowledge. So I brought in Dick Bubkiss. Bubkiss is a highly trained demonologist, and he's not afraid of anything. When he summons a demon, he beats the shit out of it. Now that we've assembled our team, now it's time to review our equipment. Yeah, we forgot to use our Geiger counter. The EMF reader didn't come in time, and I couldn't find an Ouija board. So that leaves us with only a spirit box. This is lucky though, because this is my favorite ghost hunting tool. Like I said before, this is basically a radio that switches through radio stations very quickly, and what you can hear or discern come through the static is supposedly the ghost trying to communicate. Look, it's happening right now. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of our haunted site. Split Rock Quarry is a former limestone mine and munitions quarry in Camillus, New York, a few miles south of Syracuse. It is the site of a tragic collapse and munitions explosion that killed almost 50 miners and could have lit the entirety of Onondaga County on fire. Visitors of the now biking and walking trails claim to hear footsteps, voices, and a piece of machinery called the Stone Crusher running even though the stone crusher has been vacant from its stone structure for a while. Our chosen site of investigation is a clearing right next to the main valley of the quarry, overlooking the stone structure that once housed the stone crusher. No specific ghosts are known to roam here, and there's no definitive list of people killed by the explosion, but throughout our investigation, we believe to have come into contact with 2 ghosts, Alan Jr. and James. Alright, it's time to start our investigation. If I die, don't watch this. Alright, so we're here at our site. This is a big open clearing, and then that down there, that's the quarry. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but the stone crusher is all the way down there. We were gonna head to that, but it's a little far away. We met a dude who kind of helped us. He went that way. He lives around here, and he helped us find this area. He's pretty nice. Just gonna break out the spirit box because that's really the only thing we have, and we're gonna see if we could talk to some ghosts. All right, so we're here with the spirit box. So I'm just gonna ask, is there anyone here besides me and Noah? I said nah. Is he trying to prank us? Are you trying to prank us, Ghost? Are you trying to prank us, Ghost? Is this a prank? Is this a funny prank? What is that? You think that's Ed Sheeran? Should we leave? Do you think we should leave? He said no. You hear that? I think he said no. Did you say no?
I said it's over.
Did you die in the explosion here? Your home?
No.
Don't come to my house, please.
How old are you?
Yeah, how old are you, Ghost? You said 7? What's your name, Ghost? Alan?
Alan Jr.?
Alan Jr. We're here with Alan Jr. Okay. Is this where you died, Alan Jr.? Oswego? You died in Oswego? Nah? This is actually, I mean, it kind of seems like it's like answering us. I'm gonna mute you real quick, okay, Ghost? So, I think we gotta try the Estes method for this to be really accurate. So, the Estes method is basically a method where somebody puts on headphones so they can't hear anything else, and then they say what they think they hear from the spirit box, and it sort of gives like an unbiased answer. Like, you know, we kept asking things to that, and maybe we were just hearing what we wanted to hear. So we're just gonna jack into the Estes method real quick. All right, I'm turning it on. All right, now I'm gonna say what I hear.
Are we still speaking to Alan
Singer.
Jr.? Is this Alan Jr.?
Stop.
Why?
Cold.
It is cold out.
Dark.
How old are you?
B20.
Are you 20?
Go.
Go? You want us to
Heart
go?
disease.
Heart disease. Is that how you died? Did you die heart disease?
Wrong. I was wrong.
You were wrong. You didn't die from heart disease.
Deep.
How many people died in the explosion?
Cold. 25.
Were you 25 when you died?
90.
You were 90 when you died?
Western. I just heard Megan Thee Stallion. I think it was Sexy Red, actually.
Are you a Megan Thee Stallion fan?
Worker.
Worker? Were you a
Tax
worker?
expert.
Were you a worker in the mine?
Fake. Crimson. Lost Council. I heard cold again. Did you get any good stuff?
I guess that's stopping. How do you stop it?
It kept saying cold, I swear to God.
How do you...
Noah's doing the Estes method now.
I'm going in, baby.
Yep, he's jacking in. I'm getting real cold, so I think we're gonna leave soon. So you were saying cold. Did you die because of the cold? Is there anybody still with us?
again.
Oh, is this Adam Jr. again?
Higher.
Higher. Oh, okay. Wants to look somewhere.
Clash Royale.
You like Clash Royale, Adam? You know what that is? The game?
Move again.
Move. Oh, do you want us to get out of here?
Know what to do.
Oh, what should we do, Adam?
When you talk about nation,
Nation.
turn
Turn.
my heart.
Your heart. Didn't you say heart disease before? Did somebody say heart
Heart.
disease? I think we're gonna leave here soon, Adam. Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Ain't no thing.
Nothing else? Nothing else? We can leave.
Because we destroy you.
Whoa. Okay,
You
yeah.
there,
You will.
injured.
Injured?
Hear something.
When did you die, Adam? Is this Adam? Is this Adam? Ignore the last question. Is this Adam with us?
Ruling of your mind.
Whoa. I don't like that.
James.
James, this is James. Okay.
2000. Know what happened.
2000, know what happened. Did something happen here that we're not supposed to know? Yeah, it is cold.
Right behind you.
The camera mysteriously shuts off after turning around, and a mysterious picture that I never intentionally took showed up in my camera roll. This is actually pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why the camera turned off. I couldn't get the rest of my conversation, but it slowed down after this. Mission recap. We contacted two ghosts named James and Adam.
Alan Jr.
Sorry, Al. Yeah, I said Adam. I think I might have called him Adam once. Kind of weird because our guide name was Jamie. I wouldn't call. He was a cool dude though. I think it was a little high. Actually, no, I pointed that out. It's not my idea. Yeah, I don't know if I believe in ghosts or not. It was pretty cool to talk to ghosts for the first time. Ghosts. It was pretty weird. Like I kept hearing cold coming from the
dark.
Yeah, cold, dark. Like I had to make a call. Like I'd probably say ghosts aren't real.
Yeah, they're definitely not real.
What about aliens? You think aliens are real after that?
Well, we weren't hunting aliens, so I can't say for sure.
I can't escape inconclusivity. Critical thinking tells me ghosts aren't real. But some pretty scary stuff happened during my hunt. For whatever reason, I wasn't really that scared during our hunt. But there were some pretty strange coincidences. I'm still kicking myself for forgetting the Geiger counter, especially when the ghost said behind you. Because if I turned around and the Geiger counter started going off, I would believe in ghosts right now. Before we get into what this says about ghost hunting evidence, I wanted to thank our guide, Jamie. He probably won't ever see this, but he was a really big help. If he didn't show us to the quarry, I probably would have turned around in fear of getting lost because the trails intersected and looped around and did all this crazy stuff. It really was the biggest coincidence of the night that he was just walking out at night when we pulled up. I know stranger danger and everything, but it paid off. All right, so back to the analysis. I think I went into this project thinking that there were two possible outcomes. One, I walk out of this fully believing in ghosts without a shadow of a doubt. Or two, I walk away not believing in ghosts anymore. But I learned that there was a third option. I'm still not sure. This isn't a bad thing, though, because my conclusion was based on my own experience, not the claims of a couple articles or super exaggerated TV shows. I gathered my own evidence and made my own conclusion. That's all that matters. That about wraps it up. If you want to make an unbiased claim about the existence of ghosts, I suggest that you go to a haunted location and talk to a radio for a couple hours in a haunted inn or a graveyard. And if you don't want to do that, I don't care. This video is about me, not you!